Not everybody in your organization knows what's out there. So that's the importance of having an attack surface discovery tool where you go out and, believe it or not, it's only as good as what you put into it. It's going out and seeding. There's a lot of other OSINT type of tactics that have to happen to possibly seed the ASD or the attack surface discovery tooling. So the tooling does not work by itself. It is another input into the process. You know, you have your CI/CD pipelines in a lot of organizations, but you'll have some sort of SDLC. So you have your toolings on the front of that, SAST, DAST. How do you know those are actually configured properly? We've gone into organizations where we have done the pen testing, and pen testing is always done on the end after it's been deployed or right before deployment. And we have found organizations that don't have their tools actually configured properly. We do have our attack surface discovery tool that fits in the beginning of things. We do have our pen testing, and not all pen testing is the same. So anybody going into an organization needs to know what their competitive advantage is. If it's down, you lose money. If it's broke, people are complaining, those type of things. Those lend themselves to a continuous pen test. You always want adversarial views looking into that, but trusted adversarial views. And taking that input, if I was to redo it, I would take scanning still has its purpose, but I would feed my remediation teams based off of exploitation, off of what's been exploited, because my teams are busy and all organizations don't get the funding they need any longer. They don't get the amount of people they need. The expertise doesn't necessarily even exist sometimes as well for that. So I would base my inputs into my vulnerability management process off of exploitation, what's been actively exploited, and the risk to the business, because that is, if I'm continually pen testing my competitive advantage, those things need to be fixed quickly. I would kind of dissect my environment, my infrastructure. So dissect the infrastructure on what's critical and what may not be as critical, pen test accordingly, and then look at my application base. Same deal. What's critical? What's my intellectual property? What makes me money? What gives me revenue? What may not be used as much? And start to do an inventory and base my pen testing programs based off of the criticality to the business. And then continually keep feeding your attack surface discovery. I do think there's a place for OSINT tactics as well. Digital recons, these type of things, whatever you want to call them, where you get an adversarial view, take those outputs from that and figure out how they get input into either your attack surface discovery tools or into your pen testing programs.